The manila envelope rested heavily on the kitchen counter as Nora stumbled through our front door at 9:12 p.m. on a rainy Wednesday in October. Her single high heel clicked unevenly on the oak floor, the other lost somewhere between her cab and our porch in Seattle's damp chill. I sat in my armchair, a glass of bourbon gone tepid in my hand, watching her drop her leather satchel with a careless thud. Her lopsided gait should have warned me this night would tilt off balance, but her smile, that sharp, victorious grin she used to flash when closing deals at Vanguard Solutions, hit harder. It wasn't the smile of the ambitious Nora I'd married 10 years ago, who'd clawed her way up from junior associate to senior strategist. This was the smirk of someone who'd won a game I hadn't realized we were playing. "I slept with my boss," she said, tossing the words out like she was commenting on the drizzle outside. "No big deal." 5 words, delivered with a shrug, as if confessing an affair was as routine as choosing takeout. I didn't shout or demand details. I knew it was Victor Klein, the slick VP with a penthouse office and the ethics of a pawnshop dealer. For 4 months, I'd tracked her lies, timestamps, receipts, and all, building a case with the precision of a data analyst, my trade. Instead of arguing, I slid the envelope across the counter, its weight making a dull thump, like a judge's gavel sealing a verdict. Nora scoffed, rolling her eyes as if I were the one being theatrical, then grabbed a bottle of Cabernet from the rack, pouring a glass that screamed denial more than courage. Her laugh, sharp and hollow, tried to lighten the moment, but it couldn't mask the truth. The envelope held my evidence, text messages dripping with cringeworthy pet names like Mentor Me, Stud, dinner receipts for 2 at upscale bistros, and a flash drive with a time-stamped video from a hotel hallway. Nora and Victor, arm in arm, at 10:19 p.m. on a night she'd claimed to be at a client dinner. I didn't need to spell it out, the evidence spoke louder than any accusation. Silence filled our kitchen, heavy and unyielding, as Nora sipped her wine, avoiding the envelope like it might vanish if she ignored it long enough. The wedding photo on the shelf seemed to judge us, her for her betrayal, me for letting it fester. This began 5 months ago, in May, when Nora's late meetings became as regular as her Pilates classes. I'm a data analyst, I notice when patterns don't align. Her Uber receipts showed pickups from boutique hotels in Belltown, not client offices in Pioneer Square. A team-building retreat at a spa with no conference rooms raised flags. I started cataloging, late-night texts she'd silence, calendar entries that vanished, expense reports she insisted on handling herself. Then I found her work email open on our tablet, flirty messages with Victor about private mentoring and taking things further, laced with emojis that belonged in a teenager's chat, not a VP's inbox. One email gloated about a strategy session at a hotel, timestamped when she'd told me she was working late on budgets. I enlisted Mia, my tech-savvy assistant, who could dig up digital dirt faster than a hacker. "This is either the clumsiest affair or the boldest," she said, cross-referencing Nora's location data with hotel bookings. Our neighbor, Mrs. Chen, the eagle-eyed retiree who noticed everything, dropped hints too. "Strange how Nora's meetings never match her calendar," she'd said one evening over her cigar, her tone heavy with unspoken truth. I built my case methodically, using the same precision I apply to client datasets. Every receipt, every text, every discrepancy was filed, a mosaic of betrayal that painted a picture clearer than a 4K monitor. Nora's charm had always been her weapon, smoothing over mistakes since college. But I'd learned her playbook, helping her craft pitches when she was still hungry, not entitled. We'd strategized together, back when our marriage was a partnership, not a battlefield. So, I wrote her a speech in her voice, values, integrity, transparency, starting with her go-to line about building trust, not barriers. Then came the pivot, specific dates of meetings at hotels, expenses signed by Victor, a call for a compliance audit. I embedded a QR code linking to a secure site with the evidence, texts, receipts, that damning 30-second video. At 8 a.m. Thursday, it would email from Nora's account to the board, key clients, and compliance, looking like her own confession, sent via Vanguard servers. Thursday morning, my dashboard lit up. Views of the site spiked. The video was watched 52 times by 9 a.m. Victor called at 8:17, his voice ragged. "Who got that email? What did you do, Elliot?" I sipped my coffee, calm as ever. It came from Nora's account, Victor. Legitimate, authenticated, her own words. He stammered about professional relationships, but I cut him off. "The video shows you two at 10:19 p.m. in a hotel room. Receipts show champagne for two. No explaining that." By noon, the email sent, and Nora's badge failed at the office. Security, officers Lopez and Tran, escorted her to legal, where HR's Ms. Patel laid out her voluntary leave pending investigation. Nora's excuses, "It wasn't serious, he said it was fine," crashed against Policy 3.9, disclose relationships with superiors or face termination. Friday's board meeting was surgical. Termination for cause, Ms. Patel declared, citing ethics breaches. No severance, no options, just consequences. My name appeared on the next slide, Elliot Voss, data consultant, contracted. The husband Nora had dismissed as a background player was now fixing her department's mess. That afternoon, I spoke at a local tech school, sharing a clean version of the speech, ethics, accountability, no slides, just truth. The students, a mix of career changers and young coders, asked real questions about integrity in high-stakes jobs, not corporate spin. One asked how to stay honest when ambition tempts shortcuts. Data doesn't lie, I said. People do. Choose truth. Nora watched the speech later, her face ashen as the pivot hit. To those who hide in shadows, don't mistake silence for weakness. It was for her and Victor, who thought my quiet meant ignorance. The house felt lighter, cleansed of lies. Outside, Mrs. Chen puffed her evening cigar, probably sensing the drama's end. The story was done, but its ripples would linger in Vanguard's halls and industry whispers. Actions have consequences, and I'd let the data speak.